At the end of this video, I'm going to explain how I came across an individual online on Facebook who referred to Guam as a shithole. But first, we're going to breakfast. It's a nice day out. It's a beautiful day to go out to breakfast. One breakfast is enough for two of us, right, hon?
Honey. Nanti.
That's all she needs. And that's all I need. One order. Orders here in Guam are pretty big everywhere you go. She got me with the scissors and the comb this morning. Okay, what? All that hair is gone.
Oh, I love your hair.
And I saved $10.
Yeah,
Well, that was a good breakfast. Now it's time to do some laundry. Oh, maybe go to the beach later. Breakfast is done and I got a job. Because things are accumulating on my back patio, we had to buy a storage cabinet, so I went to the Home Depot and picked up a storage cabinet. And first I'm gonna need one of those, not one of those, probably one of those, and probably one of these. That's all I need. A simple little outdoor storage cabinet, utility cabinet. And this is what I got. This is what I've unboxed. Panels, parts, more parts, more panels, more parts, more panels, more panels, and my supervisor. After a gazillion parts in about 2 hours, finally got it done. Many parts left over too. Fat boy's happy. Not fat boy. Even fat boy's happy I got a haircut. Believe it or not, yesterday I was on one of the Facebook forums, and there was this discussion taking place about what's going on in the Philippines, and some guys were talking about bugging out. So I asked the question, do you have an exit plan? And some guys recommended going to other places like Vietnam or Cambodia, maybe Thailand. And I just threw out there Guam. And somebody says, yeah, but that's the United States. I said, yeah, but it's still in the Far East. You're still only 3.5 hours from Manila. And then some guy responded, what a hole? Guam is a hole. And I thought, you're living in Bulacan and you're calling Guam a hole? Basically, my response to that comment was just that. He's living in the Philippines and I'm living in Guam, and he's calling Guam a hole. I've lived in the Philippines. We spent the last 4 years of our life there building a house before we actually moved to Guam. I'm not sure what drives comments like that, but if I had to venture a guess, I'd say it would be envy. I don't know. I know a lot of guys that are perfectly happy living in the Philippines, but they typically have, they're typically pretty well set up. They have a nice house, might have a car, they have all the amenities they need to make life comfortable, and they have a good cash flow or a good source of income. Then again, there's many expats that live in the Philippines that are not happy about where they're at. And for whatever reason, they're still there. They're the ones that complain a lot. Now, I was in Guam a good part of the 1970s. I lived here and worked here, and I liked it then, and I like it now. Is it better now? Absolutely. There's a lot more here now than there was back then. Keep in mind that Guam is in Micronesia. It's the largest of approximately 2,100 islands located in the Micronesian region, but Guam has everything we don't want for much here. Am I saying Guam is perfect? No, absolutely not. I'm saying Guam is a good place to be. And if you watched one of my more recent videos about, I think it was titled "How We Spent Our COVID Vacation," you can see pretty much how Guam can be an enjoyable place to be. We weren't locked down here. Yeah, we were pretty restricted, and we couldn't go to restaurants, couldn't go to bars, couldn't go to the bowling alley. Movie theaters were shut down, but we could shop for essential items and we could go out at will. Nobody really placed a lot of restrictions on our movement, although they encouraged us to stay put. Guam was a pretty good place to be. Guam is still a good place to be. If you remember, this video opened up with a picture of me and Terry at a local hotel having champagne breakfast. So that's a case in point. Even though we'd like to try to get back to the Philippines here pretty soon, we were supposed to be back in April. But obviously those plans have been derailed, and we're still waiting for the green light to be able to get on a plane and fly to Manila, 3.5 hours from here. But what we won't subject ourselves to is a quarantine in Manila and another quarantine in our barangay. So until then, we're going to stay in Guam. So I say to that one individual who lives in Bulacan, I'm sorry that maybe somebody peed on your parade, but it is what it is. We're stuck on Guam. We'd like to be back in the Philippines. You're stuck in the Philippines and probably wish you were somewhere else. So in the future, maybe you should just reserve commenting. And here he comes. Come on.
Dinner time.
Go home. Who says you can't train a cat? Good to see a lot of people coming out to eat, isn't it?